Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Wisteria Rose and I am the independent author of 2, soon to be 3 books, and here my babies are. And today's video is something I've been wanting to talk about since I started my YouTube channel, but everything else just kind of came before it. You know, there was always a different idea to do. So this week we're going to be talking about whether or not you should read your reviews as an author or a writer or whatever stage you're at currently. The popular consensus right away is no, don't read your reviews, and I definitely understand why a lot of people think that way, but I'll also be talking about sometimes how reading reviews can be really helpful, especially depending on what type of person you are. So first of all, I would just like to say thank you for clicking on my video and Happy New Year, and I hope that you're having a great time. Hopefully, I hope that you're in better spirits than you were in last year, and I'm praying that this year will be better for all of us. But yeah, let's get into it. So my debut novel, Mythomania, came out January 21st, 2020, so almost a whole year ago now. I can't believe it. Ooh, and there were definitely reviews. Reviews are an integral part of any author's career, no matter if they're self-published or traditionally published, because obviously the more reviews you get, the more exposure your book gets, and it's one of the best ways to get people to buy your book. Because obviously if you see a review and it's a good review, being like, XYZ book was so great, I enjoyed every second of it, I couldn't put it down, I can't wait till the next book in the series. Or if you see a review that's like, this book was overhyped, I didn't really do anything for me, I thought the characters were boring, not a lot happened, that obviously affects your decision on whether or not you want to read that book, especially if it's a book that you're paying for. Like if you're buying it online, because obviously if you're in a library or somewhere, those reviews aren't posted unless you look them up. But reviews are very, very, very important, so I will take this time to do my little PSA. If you've read a book, please give a review for it, even if you didn't love it. Just having those reviews out there does a lot for the author. So especially if you did like the book, please leave a review for it, because it helps authors out so much. But obviously there can be a wide variety of opinions in reviews, because it's just that person's opinion about the book. So if they loved it, they'll say great things about it, and if they hate it, they won't say great things about it, and that can really tear you as the author down if you're reading it. And if you're reading a review and someone's like, yeah, I hated this book, couldn't stand it, it was a waste of time, effort, money, whatever, you're really gonna feel that pain. Even if you feel like, I prepared myself for this, I'm not gonna feel bad about it, you will feel bad about it. They're not fun. No one likes getting bad reviews, especially since books are something you put so much time, effort, and work into. So many hours go into writing, into editing, into conceptualizing, and everything. Books just take forever to do, and they're honestly a product of you and your work. Every book that someone writes and puts out there is a piece of themselves, even if they themselves don't realize that. So it's really hard to read bad reviews, because it's so easy to take it personally. Even if the person reading the book doesn't know who you are, doesn't care who you are, will never care who you are, it feels like a personal attack reading a review that's bad. So this is where a lot of people say that reviews aren't for authors at all. They're just for other people to, see if they like the book, their thoughts about it, so they can make their own decision. And this is completely true. Reviews are meant for people who are potential buyers to read and think about. However, this is where I'll come and say reviews also, if they're good reviews, can make your day, can absolutely make your day, can be so validating to your experiences and to your struggles as a writer. Just getting one good review and someone saying that they just really liked it, that they loved the book, can just absolutely change everything for you, especially if you're someone who doesn't have personal friends or family reading the books or the works that you work on, and you just have to rely on like strangers, people who don't know you well. A good review can really, really, really uplift you and inspire you to keep going. Because I know when I was publishing Mythomania, It was originally fan fiction, if you didn't know that, guilty as charged. But when I was writing it and it was still in the drafting phase, I was pretty much pushing chapters out as I finished them to get, instant feedback from people on Tumblr. And people were so invested in the story that it was really what pushed me to decide, okay, I'm actually going to publish this. Like, this is actually something that people think is worthwhile, and I'm going to take that feeling of, yes, I can do this, and yes, this is a good idea, and push forward and actually publish this book that I've been working on so hard for. So obviously this doesn't mean like to cherry pick and think that, oh, if someone didn't absolutely adore my book, that they're lying or whatever, because you may have people who do that, people who don't like you or your book for whatever reason, especially on sites like Goodreads where there's no validation in someone's review. You could literally review anything. I remember seeing a post going around that one guy in particular was finding any and every book that had LGBT themes or characters in it and leaving 1-star reviews to tank them, which obviously is a terrible thing to do. Don't review a book if you haven't read it. But there are trolls out there who will try and just tear you or your book down for a reason that has nothing to do with you. But I would say the vast majority of bad reviews are not going to be that. So some people just really won't like your stuff, which is totally fine. That is the best part of life, is to like things and to not like things, and to be an individual. There are plenty of books that I read that were popular that just didn't do it for me, or books that I started and I really liked a series or something, and then at the end I hated it. Like, for example, Red Queen series, I adored like the first several books of it, but the last book, it just ruined everything for me. But then again, that doesn't have anything to do with the author's skills or whatever. It was just a book that didn't rub me right and I didn't enjoy it, and that's totally fine. So honestly, if you want to read your reviews, that's up to you. But I know personally for me, when I'm feeling really down, I like to go and I screenshot okay, I'm guilty. I do read almost every review that I get, unless it's one that I can tell right away it's just gonna be incredibly negative, because that doesn't help anybody, I mean, they've read the book, they thought about that, but at this point, reviews aren't constructive criticism. I can't go back and be like, oh, this person made a good point, let me edit it, because the book's already published. But good reviews can be so uplifting that I like to screenshot them and save them on my phone. So if I'm feeling particularly discouraged or lost, or like, oh, there's no real point in writing, no one's gonna read, no one cares, I can take those reviews and flip through them and feel uplifted and encouraged again. And I think this is a really great thing. And obviously, when you do your reviews, don't make them personal. I've never understood people who their entire intention was just to tear another person down. If you don't like a book and you want to leave a review saying you didn't like the book, perfectly fine. Leave that review, go on. But when people try their hardest to attack the author behind a book, which happens a lot, even if not in like traditional reviews, but like on social media especially, stuff like this really happens where people will be so mean to other people, and that can just don't be mean to people, please. You never know what what they're going through or anything. So just try and be kind and be honest is basically, my takeaway from this. Also, if you're an author yourself, don't ask people for good reviews, because that breaks a whole bunch of rules, and also it's just very dishonest of you. Whenever I'm asking people for reviews, like with ARCs or giveaways or whatever, I always make sure to state that I want them to be 100% honest, because if you have a bunch of good reviews and they're just people trying to make you happy, you're doing you and your book a disservice, because obviously I want people to take a look at my books as what they are themselves. I don't want people to be like, oh, this was great just because I know somebody who wrote it or whatever. I would never do that, and I would never ever want that, because I know my work deserves better than that. I know it deserves to be judged on it itself. So that's just generally my takeaway from this sort of thing. If you like reading your reviews, or if you don't like reading your reviews, just keep in mind that you have to keep going. Good reviews are great for encouragement's sake, but regardless, you just have to keep going and pursuing what you do and what you love, because if you've put all that much time and effort into writing a book, it obviously means a lot to you, and don't let anyone take that from you. So not everyone's gonna like your book, not everyone's gonna hate your book either. There's something for everyone on this planet. There are so many different books, stuff that I would just be like, oh, I would never ever read this, that other people adore, and that's great. And I hope that there are more books in the future to cater to all sorts of different audiences. So yeah, that's my little sermon on the soapbox today. So thank you for watching this video. Please let me know, do you think it's a good idea to read reviews or not down below? And if you like K-pop and books with people of color as the main focus, you should check out both of my books down below. And my third book, the second book in the Sidereal series, will be coming out in the next couple of months. So if you're interested in keeping up with that, please subscribe to my newsletter. Everyone on my newsletter hears news like this first. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!